would this be in some kind of like Christmas tree bill with a lot of other items, or what kind of bill would this be in?
There is some reckoning within the Christmas tree bill, but this is usually a separate bill. Uh, you have to have the authority to do it. So there's actually two bills, and then there'll be a bonding bill. But in the short session, sometimes we abbreviate it and we lump bills together because of the short time period. But usually there's two bills, one to authorize it, one for the capacity or the actual bonding.
So, I mean, it doesn't seem like, I guess what I'm aiming at here, it doesn't seem like this is going to be sort of a process where it's going to go through multiple hearings and it's going to be a single item. It's just going to be kind of like a budget item on a larger bill, right?
That's correct.
Okay. So the chances of this passing are pretty high because people don't usually veto line items in a bill like that.
The governor has the right to veto a line item. Nobody else does.
Okay. So if this gets put in by your committee, then it will most likely arrive to the governor's desk.
Right. Now realize that I'm a Republican. I share the limelight with mostly Democrats, and so I'm one of six that will make that decision.
Do you think that your fellow colleagues on that committee will have any issue with the proposal like this?
Actually, I don't. The majority leader in the House is very strongly for it, Rep. Bowman, and he's been over to my office. Fact is, we're going to go look at some of the property today, and then next week we are going to talk with the people from the Abbey. Um, so he's been very, very helpful. Uh, I really am not expecting a whole lot of pushback. The issue itself isn't one of those issues that there's a lot of opposition to. If you go back in our history, both Tom McCall, Mark Hatfield, most major Republicans, you get landmark features like waterfalls, et cetera. We expect the public to have access to those. Democrats, same thing. So this isn't something I'm expecting a whole lot of opposition to. The problem is the time frame that we have to work with, and then you also have some of the uh, trying to figure out what agency to put it in. That sounds like it's an easy decision. That might be the toughest decision of them all. And there's three. The state parks, where obviously you would think it would go, but they're running a pretty good sized deficit right now. Division of State Lands and the Department of Forestry. Those three would be the three that might end up with it. We're just trying to figure out, you know, how we're going to put this package together and the amount that we're going to ask for.
So, I mean, other than purchasing the land itself, there's improvements as it stands now. That's like a risk of, lawsuit if it is a state land. I would think if it's an access through state parks, that would need to be renovated in a way that people can access it probably more
Well,
securely, right?
we have talked to state parks. Now, state parks wants money to improve the trail, and probably if you've taken the road down there, the road's pretty bad. So yeah, there would be some cost in doing that. This isn't a freebie by any, but it just isn't going to be. It's going to cost some money. But again, um, these funds are set aside for things like this, and I can't think of anything more important, at least to me, than protecting the right of the people for generations to come to be able to see something like this.
Yeah. So are you, oh, do you have an idea, a general idea of how much it would cost to purchase and how much it would cost to, improve the trail system?
I do, but I have yet to negotiate with the other parties, and so I don't feel like I want to reveal that quite yet.
And in terms of the trail system, if you were to talk about just that portion,
Oh, I think I'd let that go for a little bit because
sure.
even that's up in the air as well. Parks has I've seen an estimate from parks, but it would be totally different from the Department of Forestry. That wouldn't have the same requirements. So, again, I'm not sure where it's going to land.
As
Right
far
now, right now, the whole idea is to keep it from being bought up by someone in the private sector that would deny access. That's it in a nutshell. After that, Rep Bowman and I are dedicated to figuring out how we're going to develop it, what agency and what we're going to do with it after we get it.
Understood. So, in terms of the trail system and the money that would require, is that also coming from the same bond, or would that be a separate?
No, no, money like that we can't bond for. That is general fund money. Bond money, there has to be an asset that we bond. It's just like your house. There has to be an asset. And so overhead we can't bond for. It's illegal.
Gotcha. So there would need to be a separate bill of some sort, putting aside a certain budget
That
amount
would
for
that
whatever
would come
agency.
that would come next session, yeah, in the long session.
Gotcha.
That would be part of the funding bill for state parks or DHS or not DHS, state lands, sorry,
Yeah.
or Department of Forestry.
Understood. So if this were to happen, I'm just kind of playing this out in my head a little bit. The purchase happens potentially in this session, a little bit
Right.
after, and then the next session is when the money for improvements would happen. I'd imagine there'd be a period of closure both in between when it's purchased and in between when the renovations are complete.
I I don't think so. We have actually, it's ironic, we have a liability exposure bill that's going through to help ski resorts. They're trying to expand that to outdoors. Uh, uh, if you hike, if you are in the outdoors, you ski, by gosh, you take on risks, and people shouldn't be liable for that. So if we keep it open, I think you do so under your own risk. Having said that, I'm just one voice, so, but I would expect it to stay open.
Would that
And
ultimately fall on the agency that you place the property under?
I didn't hear what was
That
that?
I would imagine that decision would ultimately fall on the agency that ends up taking that property on.
That's correct. Again, the way that the Department of Forestry would handle it and state parks are totally different. And Division of State Lands, I would think would be different than all three of them, or the other two.
Understood. Anything else you want to add about this? Would you like to maybe sum up a little bit why this is important to you?
Oh, I grew up in the woods. I'm one of very few people in the Senate that were actually born in Oregon. And things like this are extremely important to me. I lost my house in the wildfire. I've seen devastation. Uh, I I grew up with Mark Hatfield and Tom McCall as my idols. So this just is extremely important to me. And the irony is, I think for talking with Rep Bowman, it's extremely important for him. And it's fun when we are able to work across the aisle and work in different chambers as well to work for the common good. So something like this in a real charged environment where you can actually have a lot of fun and do something I think will benefit generations to come. It is very rewarding.
And then, sorry, last question. Have you heard from constituents about this at all
I have not heard a negative comment, and I've heard from a lot of constituents.
that are for this? Has anyone asked you to take this on?
To take what?
Of your constituents, has anyone called you and been like, "Hey, can you do something about this?"
Oh, numerous. And numerous groups, conservation groups, numerous people from the district. Um, yeah, we've received, I don't know, scores of phone calls about this. It made the press, and the thought that a private entity can buy this, land a helicopter pad in there, deny access, is driving everybody nuts, and they just don't like it. And again, I'm just telling you, it crosses party lines. No, nobody wants this. So it's important that we at least give it our best shot. And I'm not saying we're going to get it done because we still have to negotiate a price with the Abbey. The what I'm asking for is actually not just the 40 acres for the Abbey, but 160 acres for a Weyerhaeuser property as well, which is downstream from that, which is a huge section in through there, which has lower Abiqua Falls in it, which also is the access point for it. And I think it would be I think we almost have to have that if we're going to do something with the falls.
Uh, are they amenable to a purchase as well?
A Weyerhaeuser is the land's for sale now.
It is. Okay.
Mm.
Is there a price tag on that portion of the land yet?
Yeah, actually there is. It's 1.4 million. That's public record.